All right, so this is now with product rule, and then we'll do one with quotient rule as well for implicit differentiation. So the way you can tell it has implicit and product rule is there is a multiply here, and they're both two different letters. So you have 2x and y cubed. That's where we know we're going to be using implicit differentiation and product rule. There's also other y's that mean we can't solve it. So when we take the derivative, we would get 2y dy dx, just like before, because it's not with respect to x. And then now the middle, this is our 2xy cubed. So what I like to do is just leave a little bit of space. And I put little dotted lines here. I put a plus. And I split it. So those are my 2. And then I take the derivative. So this would be 2. And it's just x. So again, we're doing the derivative with respect to x. So there's no reason to put an x prime. The next one is y. So 3y squared. And then now we have to write dy dx. Got a little ahead of myself. And then we do our normal cross multiply thing that we do with our product rule. So this would be 2 times y cubed plus, and then the 2x times 3y squared. So that would be 6xy squared. And then now you can change this to y prime if you want, but I'm going to put dy dx, and then I put my little dotted line. So now I just did product rule with implicit differentiation. So I brought down the 2. It's 3y squared dy dx, 2y cubed, 6x, looks good. All right, the next is a constant, so that would be 0. And then the last is just 7. So there we have it. So now let's put it all together. So this is 2y, y prime, plus 2y cubed, plus 6xy squared, y prime, equals 7. And again, the y primes need to be on the same side. So 2y, y prime, plus 6xy squared, y prime, equals 7 minus 2y cubed. And then we factor out our y prime. And if you've done these enough now, you can probably already see that this is just y prime equals 7 minus 2y cubed over, and then whatever was on the y prime side without the y primes, so whatever's in blue, is just going to become our denominator. So just like that. But we're going to still factor out that y prime, just so that we have it. Equals 7 minus 2y cubed. And then a quick divide. And there you have it. All right, so let's try an example now with quotient rule, and you're going to see it's very similar. So again, you can tell that this one is quotient rule because we have 2 letters and they're both being divided. So even though they're not the same x, it's still quotient rule. So I like to do the same thing. That's my top. I'm going to put the bottom in green so I know it's a quotient rule. And so derivative of x is 1. Derivative of y is 1, but we have to write dy dx. So now when we do this, remember we have to start with the 1. That's our top. So it'd be y. And it's 1 times y, that's it. And then minus x dy dx all over. And then it's the bottom one squared. So y squared. So now we just applied quotient rule implicitly. So we did x is 1, y is 1, y prime, 1 times x, y, minus x times 1 dy dx, perfect, all over the denominator squared. And so now we can continue on. So that was just the first part. All right, plus, and then derivative of 2x is 2. Derivative of constant is 0. Now when you have that denominator, what we just have to do is multiply everything by y squared. This is one method. So if we multiply the left side and the right side by y squared, we would end up with these two canceling. So we end up with y minus x, and I'm going to convert that to y prime now. We put it in red so I don't forget it. Perfect. Plus, and then that would become 2y squared equals 0. So we're just going to distribute it. One goes here and one goes here. So you could even do this as well. Put a parentheses, and then just put y squared like that. And then these would now cancel, leaving us with this. All right, so now we're solving for y prime. So again, the same thing we've been doing, minus x, y prime on this side. Everything else goes to the other side. So it'd become a minus 2y squared minus y. And then we divide. There's no factoring needed here. And so you could leave it as one fraction or you can split it, but everything there has a negative, so we can throw all those negatives away. 2y squared plus y, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And there we go.